Oh, hi, it's Opie. Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, and we're about to do some exercise with Emmy, because that's the title of this. Exercise, as you can see here. Yeah, exercise. Alright, so we're going to skip ahead, because I assume we have seen this before, and we have a choice here. Go for it or take it easy. We did take it easy before, but in this route, we're going to go for it. We're going to keep on going running. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? No! I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me, grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Emmy laughs without bringing her stride no less and speeds up even more. Well, if this is where we're going to play things, I increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning and my legs starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. It's like, I don't want to hear you. I can't let myself fall behind because that will be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing the game. I answered it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep... Oh shit. It's like a string pulling on my chest. A choked feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then, oh shit. The track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emmy rolls around and her eyes widen. Hiso! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing. Just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon, it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at the very word Emmy. I think I'm fine. No, you're not. Dude, you're not fine. No. My voice sounds weird, even to myself. Oddly, even as a matter of fact, it makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right. You're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I really had rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. I like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Well, Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but doesn't alarm the nurse at least. In the least. Oh, it's this guy. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he calmly sips his coffee from the mug but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. So, what brings you here? And when we were running him, he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and oh. Hey. Hey, you didn't even give me a chance to say that. We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and I thought I'd come get you and make him wait there. But he said he was okay, but I thought you should see him anyway, and... Easy there, Emmy. Calm down. So, what happened? I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurrying like the time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Isao. I was being careful. Come to think of it, I just got into the race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem to as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just, what? Uh, um, that is, I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is that true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well. Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it out loud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead with one hand tiredly. Emmy, you gotta be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't think if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. No. I actually started it. The nurse is stunned by that statement. You what? We were just running and Emmy started to pull away, so sped up to catch her? The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at both of us. So, you're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now, come on, Isao. I gotta make sure that your heart's not gonna explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where we are certain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So, how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. Tired, but it might be just from the exercise. Just stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going jacked, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. Thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he had said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again with that decisive nod. So, you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with it. You don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see your face. Good. We'll meet on the roof. Oh, we? Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know. I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. And great, see you there. I wouldn't say no either. I stay afloat somewhere between sleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains as he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting around about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it. Not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal. Even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex. To push it away, to keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Ugh. Stupid. I have to be more careful or I'll end up in the hospital again. Or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. Hopefully he doesn't oversleep on the lunch. Oh, I fell asleep for how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some more irritation, the nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. Quarter past 10. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Isao. Oh, fine. Climb down from that bed then, and let's see how you were doing. Don't. Oof, I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by my arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure didn't lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're alright. Head stop, Speedy? Yeah. Good. How are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, Hisao. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. It doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "Told you so," or something, but he doesn't. I can try to help you keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that will remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid an interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering to make and then make my leave as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet, as the courtyard was, naturally so since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Mito calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Mito seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I've interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his class tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave to me. Muto takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me kind of a stern look, but doesn't say anything. Just nods solemnly again. I shrug as he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high strung in class. Moto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow, and I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food. Oh, that's Misha. Games and fried food. Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But I But what I was meant to say was, I think that was what it was. The thing was too fast. The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, and gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I join the flow and grab lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. A lot of location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm of the Lee in the classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides as I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, hi, Isao. Great timing. I have a super extra lunch today as promised. Let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the interpreted individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps into the beaming light, or sunlight. Hello. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hello. Yeah, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you were this person, Emmy. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. Dot dot dot. The awkward silence only lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Uh, Neither. I have food for three. Nice thinking. They walk into the other end of the roof while I stay in the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody here. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is just not as popular as it is in the other schools. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on the bench with Rin in tow and produces one big or two small lunches boxes from her bag. Come on, Isao, what are you waiting for? She is begging me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I see myself on the corner of the bench to take it as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit in. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade. No less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make it myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up to notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth by using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed by her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place that I'm in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? can't decide if I'm getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Hmm. I'm distracted by my own thoughts on the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, a mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because I then burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keeps my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I just struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How did you two meet? Ren seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we complemented each other as well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Puts us together and we all got our limbs. Get it? So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Excuse me. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right. That seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping. But at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It will save me a lot of trouble in the wrong one. Ren nods in what I suspect to be in a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Amy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Ren speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Ren that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme. Keeps an equally pink box, some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I am once again impressed about how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Isao, how did you like it up here? Hmm? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Hemi grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended, trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve! She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Ren and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rendering dog eyes I have ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding. I was just kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good locations, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns at my declaration of okay, but seems to be happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now, or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs it, as if this isn't an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here there were on Tuesday. All the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Oh, shit. As I drop the books I borrowed from the return into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it. Quite startled from the banging they made as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko, I didn't mean to startle you. No, 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 it's fine. It happens a lot. I am used to it by now. Can I help you? Mm, it's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's nothing much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the counter where Hanako had been for the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Hi, Hanako. Man, it's been a while. Surprising though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decided against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. Yeah, we don't do anything with her. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off on the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I started thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this cripple wonderland. Oh, okay, that was a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way of the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can feel my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since the time in the forest with Iwanako, like it was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Mm. Well, we should be getting close to Act 2 for this. Um, Hopefully we're getting close to there, and as you can see here, Act 2 only has one decision, but hopefully we'll come up to it. But for now, we're gonna cut it here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on Katawa Shoujo.